What's going on YouTube? It's Patrick from Mid 10 Outdoors coming at you real quick. It's going to be a short video, just more or less a public service announcement, shall we say. Scout Troop had a backpacking trip this weekend, and it's one of about 6 tune-up campouts they're going to do. They're getting ready to backpack the Appalachian Trail. About a 7-day trek's what they're going to do. But they did an overnighter this weekend, and they had some weather. They had some rain come in middle of the night while they were all sleeping. And guess what? The telltale sign of whose tent will leak. That's right. They had two or three that leaked. Had one that blew away after the boy set it up and put his gear in and walked away from it. Wind was blowing pretty good Saturday night, so guess what? His tent took a ride. So, what I'm going to get at, and I'm going to do a better video here in the next few days when it warms up and it's a lot nicer out. We got snow, rain. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is 3 tips real quick. Number 1, set up your tent, make sure everything's okay. Number 2, when you set up your tent, make sure you use all the points that are available for staking down. There's a reason for that, those points. Those points are what keep the tent fly off of the inside of the tent. Without that, well, then moisture can come in. There's a few other things that can happen with it, as far as your ventilation won't be right. If you get up against it and there's heavy dew on the tent, well, that dew's going to come through and going to be on you. The number 3 thing is before you go out is to make sure you've got everything with your tent. Did you lose a stake the last time you used it and you didn't replace it? Did you break a string? Whatever. You need to go over the stuff and make sure everything's good. The 4th, and which actually probably should be number 1 thing, is to check your seams. For instance, I was looking to see on this one earlier if it said anywhere about factory sealed seams. And I believe it does. I just can't find it right now. But irregardless if it does say that, and you've had the tent for a while, it's time to reseal your seams. And it needs to be done. You must reseal them seams or they will leak on you. So that's about as good as I'm going to get right now. We'll do a better video once it warms up. We can get outside and I'll show you how to do the seams on a tent. You can do one of 2 things. You can use the spray waterproofing, which I've used many times. Even on this tent, I've never had a leak. Or you can use the tube stuff that, it's kind of like a roller ball and it rolls it on there. That stuff works great too. But remember, there's thousands of little holes on all these seams where they've sewed this tent together. That's a perfect spot for a leak. So if you don't have them fixed, well, then it's going to leak on you. Started the video the other day about checking your tents out before you go camping. Now, that's kind of what we've done here. We set the tent up yesterday, seam sealed it because it hadn't been done in a while, and checked everything out. Everything looks good. She looks good to go. It's the big Coleman. That's a 10 by 13, so it'll sleep with us 3 perfectly fine. This is the one with the electrical hole, and it's got the little vent hole there. Big back window. So, in my opinion, she's ready to go camping next weekend. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going up to a new place I ain't been to. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that real quick. This is wrapping up the part about checking out your gear before you go. Well, checking out your tent before you go camping. And a couple other things I'll show you too. So anyway, make sure you set them up, make sure you look at everything, make sure floor is fine, There is ground cloth underneath this thing, and then my fly is in good shape. The only problem I have on this tent, and this I actually did this right after I first got it. I don't know if you can see it. Right up there in the top, there's a tear in the pole pocket. Yeah, I did that myself. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, she's good to go, and there'll be a video coming from the trip. So hang out with us and get out there and get camping, guys. Be prepared.